another major kind of breakthrough that was announced yesterday, at least that's how what we're being told it is the infrastructure package. We're told it's just, it's $1 trillion. And as we talked about before the show today, if we had a deal that was just $1 trillion, that's a ton of money. But we know we have infrastructure issues in our country that we should deal with, and that's a role of the federal government, whether it's roads, bridges, travel, airport communication, technology, etc. But that's not the full story here.
Not Jordan. I mean, look, we've said it on this broadcast many times before. There was always a path to a bipartisan infrastructure deal like that, like you said, was truly infrastructure, roads and bridges and waterways on down the line you go. And I think yesterday, at least in part, this is only part of the story, Jordan, but is evidence of that. There's an announcement that there's a framework in place, $1.2 trillion on a bipartisan basis. 17 Republicans joined with Democrats to invoke cloture on the motion to proceed. Basically, that means they agreed to start the debate on the bill on this compromise. Jordan, if that were the entirety of the story, I would tell you that I would think it's probably a pretty good thing that they're going to come to a deal on a bipartisan basis and they're going to pass this infrastructure measure. But there's a couple of things that our listeners really need to know. Number one, first of all, Jordan, on this package, there's no text yet. I mean, this is increasingly the way that Congress does this. We don't have a bill. We don't know the specifics, so I can't even tell you how good that bill would be. But here's the more concerning part, Jordan. President Biden, Leader Schumer, and Speaker Pelosi are saying they will only vote on this deal if a larger partisan reconciliation package that comes in with a financial score of about $3.5 trillion moves first, Jordan. Now, we've seen these reconciliation packages before, and I am here to guarantee you that is not going to be a true infrastructure bill. That is going to be a leftist wish list bill. So here's my biggest concern for these 17 Republicans that voted for this bill that on its own, Jordan, might be just fine. You have to treat this entire negotiation now as if it's a $5 trillion deal, and $3.5 trillion of that is a leftist wish list. Because, Jordan, if they're not going to move this narrower package without getting that larger partisan package, isn't that just one big bill? In my view, it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, I think what's troubling about this is that it seems right now it's being lauded as bipartisan, and it doesn't take that many U.S. senators. So, I mean, could this pass the way that we're nervous about? And are they going to be selling this to the American people the same way as the Biden team? That's what makes me nervous about this. And then we end up with this bloated bill, which right now, because there's conflicting. You got the AOC types of the squad; they're complaining about this deal. So, what do we think happens next?
Well, first of all, I don't think AOC is going to be complaining if she gets the $3.5 trillion package on the back end of it. So, look, she might be complaining now. It might be posturing. But what do I think is going to happen, Jordan? I don't think this is a foregone conclusion, because this first package, which again, might be acceptable once we see the text and once we can look at it, it actually might be a reasonable bill. They will need 10 Republicans to join all 50 Democrats, or if they lose a couple Democrats, you might need a couple more Republicans to reach that 60-vote threshold. I don't think that's a foregone conclusion, Jordan. Only 17 Republican members agreed to start the debate, and many of them said they're waiting to see the text. They want to see how it gets amended before they vote on the final. So I would tell you I think it's most likely to pass. Usually these things do get over the line, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. But, Jordan, again, you have to say that in the very same breath that you say the follow-on package, the one that is not going to get Republican support, you don't need any Republicans to pass that one because they're moving it through reconciliation. It will only take 50 votes and the vote of the vice president to move that into law.